Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, welcome. It's so good to be together again. We didn't even have to wait till Brussels to see each other again. Thank you for making time on this beautiful Saturday, or maybe it's Sunday for you. On today's time together, we are going to do an activation, filling our whole system with light, and then we're going to take some time and revisit our beliefs and our habits work to see where we are a week later. And then we'll have time for some open Q&A. We want to hear from you any questions or things that you've been present with since our last weekend together. So I will be joined today by Dr. Ankit, and we're just going to begin by really getting present and illuminating our whole system. I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, relax the body. Notice the sensation of where your body meets the cushion or the chair, the floor. Notice the smells, the sounds, the sensation on your skin. And take another breath, close the eyes. And as you exhale, allow all tension to just melt from your body. Become present to the space within your skin, this sacred temple of the body, and allow yourself to land fully here and now. Allow any thoughts to pass like clouds. And welcome the light into your physical body. The light that cascades like a waterfall through the Antakarana into your whole system. And also be present with your intelligent body. This companion that is here to serve you in your journey to enlightenment and to serve your physical body to be in pure, perfect, radiant health. We'll take a few breaths and instantly illuminate your chakras. Deep inhale. Placing a sun within each chakra, from the crown, between the eyebrows, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, the root chakra. Bright, bright vortices of light. Deep breaths. Brighter, brighter light with your intention and with your breath. And this light, as it grows, it shines into the physical body. And then activating the light within the etheric body. It fits like a glove around the physical body. It's full of vitality. Take a breath and bring more vitality and more light into the etheric body. And then activate the light through all of the subtle bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual, causal. The light expands. Love the light, enjoy the light. Now I welcome Ankit to bring us further deeper into the physical matter.
Let us invoke the energy of the Saima energy session that Ma offered during the HealthSpan by design, the mitochondrial activation. It may serve you to begin with the mother cell. I find that a great visual for me to begin with. Ma sort of just a beautiful phrase. It's a quantum cell. It's that first cell. When you think about the steps of creation, it makes sense. There's a quantum energy which gives rise to the matter. And this cell is always with us. And we can work with it with our intention. So we invoke our mother cell and we offer our gratitude to this cell, this first cell of our body. We bless this cell and we allow this activation to commence to be re-invoked, reactivated in the mother cell. And specifically putting our attention into the mitochondria, or as Ma likes to say, the mitochondria. Just be with it a moment. The light, the activation, filling the mitochondria of the mother cell. Every mitochondria. Ma offered the words bliss, ecstasy. Feel that within the cells. It may help to take deep breaths with this. Ma has given in the past, when we're doing this divinization work, a nice gentle breath that we can do is inhaling, not the pranayama breath, but just inhaling gently through the teeth. When we get to the top, we actually do not pause and then just immediately move into the exhale through the teeth. And when you get to the bottom, do not pause and immediately move into the inhale. So this is a beautiful breath that Ma gave in the divinization work. It's a cyclical breath. And what I find for myself, it allows the mind to stay centered on the work. So let's take a few of these breaths together. The bliss of the cells. The ecstasy of the mitochondria, of your mitochondria. And as you sense this fullness, this plumpness, this juiciness of the cell, allow it to spread throughout the entire body. And if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend reviewing the Brain Illumination DVD and download because it's helpful to begin with a cell, allow that light to spread into the brain, and just put the emphasis of the activation in one organ in the brain. So important. Ma spoke about the amygdala, this limbic system. I've actually found this is so beneficial in the work with the intelligent body, because when all of us run into health problems, there's usually an aspect of it in the limbic system, in those emotional centers. It's very common to have fear about the body, but this is something we can wash, something we can work on. And then allowing the activation, this activation of the mitochondria in the cells, of the cells, into the throat. Special focus there is always on the thyroid. Into the heart chakra, the chest, the heart organ, the cells of the heart, cells of the lung, radiating out into the arms and the hands. You may feel a sense of relaxation in your shoulders as those cells move into a higher frequency. Moving down to the region of the solar plexus, all the digestive organs, stomach, liver, the upper organs, and then moving into the lower organs, the intestines. And just keeping the intention on the bliss of the cells and the perfection of that original blueprint, which we were all supposed to have coming into the body. And finally moving down into the legs and the feet. So literally every cell of the body receives this activation. The words they use in that book, Mahavatar Babaji and the 18 Siddhas, they once referred to an aspect of our evolution as the bliss body. It's okay to feel blissful. And with that, take a deep breath. And we allow the activation to come to a close. Om Jai Saima.
Om Jai Saima. How is it? I'd love to see in the chat. How are you? How are your cells? Amazing, vibrant, filled with light, and all answers are welcome. If you don't feel great, that's welcome too. Amazing, powerful, vibrant, tingling, and sparkly, colorful, beautiful divinity. Great. I would love to hear from you all. How are your beliefs? So we looked at some of the limiting beliefs that you had coming into the program, and then created new ones. Have you revisited those? Because repetition is the key if we want to really create new beliefs and have them go into the subconscious and then run the show on autopilot. So tell me in the chat, have you forgotten about that, or have you been revisiting them? What do you notice in your beliefs? And feel free to put your new belief in the chat also as a reaffirmation of that. I am capable. Practicing, my body loves me. I forget about them, easy to fall into the default. Yes, because that has been running us for 20 to 90 years, depending on how old you are here. And we've been repeating them for so long that we have to begin repeating the new one. So you could put Post-its in your bathroom and look at them while you're brushing your teeth with your new belief, or find a time when you can just really reinforce that to yourself. I am organizing effortlessly. Good one. I am life, health, youth. Je suis capable. Yes, excellent. I'll say it again. Repetition is the key. The old ones come and we say, oh, that's the old program. Here's the new one. And we have to continuously superimpose and redirect. And eventually the new one will just take over. All right. How about your habits? Raise your hand physically so I can see you if you have done what you committed to so far of the habit that you created for yourself. All right. Do you remember what I'm talking about? We all designed a habit and the first steps. Okay. Raise your hand if you have not done what you committed to. And be honest, this is for you. Okay. It's kind of like 50-50. So we're going to take a moment and look at, if you didn't do it, what got in the way? Did you forget? Did you get too busy? Did you decide it wasn't important? Okay. So I want you to take a moment and let's see some things in the chat. Why didn't you do it if you committed to? Okay, effort to stop eating meat and I caved. Got it.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, you can also say it was chicken, not red meat. So you're halfway there.
Yeah. And we'll look at what to do next if it didn't work, because if it didn't work, we need to readjust. That's the whole game with habits. I totally forgot about it. Thank you for being honest. I did a few days and forgot about it. I got sick and recovering. J'ai réussi à manger plus vivant. Other stuff got in the way. Yeah, life happens. Okay. So let's take a moment and think about, if you didn't do it, what might you need to do differently so that either you remember, or like for the meat example, what might you need to do in your diet so that you know you're getting the nutrients you need? And that's a bigger conversation, right? If you want to become vegetarian, it's really a bigger conversation about how to nourish your body. So how do you get the information you need, or what do you try? And if you forgot, what reminders do you set? How do you remember? So just take a moment and let's see some ideas. If you did do it, what's the next level for you? Are you satisfied with the level of the habit you created, or is there a next step that you want to commit to, or do you want to just keep going with what you created or adjust? It was hard, but I did it anyway. I committed to starting rebounding 1 minute and adding a minute a day. I'm up to 7 minutes, feel great despite having resistance and thinking it's hard. Awesome. Awesome, Mimi. That's fantastic. And you can always go back to 1, 2, 3 minutes a day if that's what's sustainable for you. So we want these habits to be sustainable so that we will return to them and they become truly habitual. They're not habits yet. It helps when I reaffirm the new habit every day and multiple times per day. Absolutely. Scheduling it. Yes. Put it in your calendar, put an alarm on your phone, ask a friend to remind you, put a note, whatever you need to do. Is there anyone that is really struggling with how to create your habit and make it work that wants to raise your hand and have a little dialogue? Okay. Great. So do you all feel like you have what you need in this moment to keep going with your habits? Let's see some yes or no.
I would just like to say I'm impressed by Rhonda, who's wall sitting while brushing her teeth. Wow.
Yeah. These are some amazing habits. And the smallest thing, like we said in the program, just can make such a big difference over time. So yay. Thank you all. We're going to open up for Q&A, and also feel free, if there's anything that around your habits that you want to talk through, feel free to raise your hand also. So we invite electronic hands to be raised. To do that, you go down to, I don't know, how do you do it? Everything, reactions. And then you'll see a raised hand. Okay, great. Maureen. You'll need to.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I have a question. It's so funny. The weekend was so powerful, and I felt the clearing happen even through the resonance and some of the discomfort with so much that was shared during that amazing event. And the last meditation was truly amazing by Ma. And I have been feeling a lot of clarity and clearing to date, even since our HealthSpan. One of the questions I had about that amazing meditation, I can't even remember whether it was during that or earlier, about the sword of Archangel Gabriel walking through an airport. I know the violet flame, and I'm familiar with invoking Archangel Gabriel as far as cord cutting. But I didn't quite, maybe I was totally in the cosmos, and of the energy, but I didn't quite understand what it was mentioned. Put your right hand out and hold the sword to your heart, like walking through an airport or something. And I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Yeah, thank you, Maureen. So it was a sword of Archangel Michael. And Ma will work with that as an energetic force that we can clear anything. So you can imagine holding it in your hand, and even in your practice, at times Ma's guided us to clear our field with it, to imagine that we have this sword. And it's not just imagining, it's activated for us. And it's a very powerful clearing force. So Ma said we can walk with it through the airport as like the airport just has so many different energies. And it's another way that we are, those energies that come towards us just get transmuted.
So do you do that with intention then, or just kind of just like?
I would say intention. Yeah, the intent of our mind. And as soon as we think of it, it's active.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Christelle.
Okay. On the timer, I have a question or a reflection question about habits. I observe when I'm not 100% convinced internally that habit doesn't happen. And that's where I am often. It's like, yes, but as long as I don't see the full benefits versus the sacrifice, especially habits that are more difficult, or I experience more resistance. It's always like an internal battle.
Yeah. That's so important. We really have to have a strong why and a strong buy-in. So what's a habit that you want to create, but you're a little...
So yeah, one I declared last weekend was to go sleep earlier, so I get up earlier. But there are so many reasons why to keep the habit I have now. So I didn't. It was not that it was not on my mind, but it was not possible this week for multiple reasons. So and I observed it during the week, and I still see more benefits, or I like it more, let's say it like that, to sleep later than and sleep later in the morning.
And why do you want to get up earlier? What's possible for you if you do that?
What's possible is that I start earlier in the morning so I can finish my workday earlier and have more free time with the family in the evening. Yeah.
So it just moves everything up.
Yeah.
And what gets in the way of going to bed earlier? Why do you like staying up late?
Yeah, because I work till quite late. So, and I need a moment for, I cannot go from work to bed. I have to, I love to have a time for myself. And when everybody goes sleep, it's like there is like a silence in the house that I love, and I love experience. So when I go sleep earlier, that's not there, but it's more, it's in the morning. So yeah, it's more the principle that I give you one example, but I observe that in most of my habits it's difficult to find a strong why.
Yeah. Well, let's talk all the way through this one and see if you decide if you're going to do it or not. Okay. So is there a silence before everyone's woken up in the morning that would be available to you if you went to bed earlier?
Yes, but it's very early. That's
too early to be realistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starts at 6 here, so yeah, I should have get up at 5.
Okay, so you would miss the silence.
Yeah.
And really, think about a day, a week flow what would your ideal wake up time be?
About 7 o'clock.
Okay.
6:37. Yeah.
6:37.
So I can start, do the daily routine of meditation and some yoga and some exercise. So I would start at 8:30 my day.
Okay. Yeah. So if you wake up at 7 and you have time to do your practice before you start your work day, then what time would you like to finish your work?
Around 5, 6 o'clock. Yeah,
okay.
6, 7. Yeah, 6 o'clock when it's dinner. Yeah.
So imagine your day that you wake up at 7, you do your meditation, you do your work day, you finish at 5 or 6, and then you have the evening with family. How does that sound for you? How does that feel?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if I want to do this in front of everybody. It's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's okay. That's, I think I think everything is a question of getting and taking it.
Yeah, but first,
but I think what's really profound in me is I'm not convinced I will be finished by 6, for example. I think that's, I mean, even if I start early, because I have quite a big workload, maybe I will finish, even if I start early, I might finish late, I think that's always the struggle I have, because I don't see everything as work. There's a lot of passion, there's a lot of joy in what I do.
Yeah. So it sounds like that's the biggest thing, that no matter what time you go to bed or wake up, you're still going to work too late.
Yeah, I think that's, you mean it well. Yeah.
So what would you need to do to make sure you stop work at a certain time?
Yeah, that's discipline, to say when the food is ready, I stop, and the rest is for the next day. Yeah.
And what would make it possible for you to stop at that time? Besides discipline, like what structure could you create for yourself?
I think I have to test it. I think that's often when I have to experience it to convince myself.
Yeah.
That's the way I often work.
And you can also, so say your ideal is 6 o'clock. When are you usually finishing work?
Yeah, it depends because I take a break when the kids come home, and so. But usually I finish at 9, around 9. Yeah.
Okay. What if you created a rule for yourself that you have to finish by 8 to start?
Oh yeah, I can
As an
do it in
example.
little steps. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Does that
Okay.
feel realistic for you?
Yeah. I think that was the issue. The gap was too big from
Yes.
9 to
Yeah.
6. So no, this is not possible.
Exactly.
And I remember you said take baby steps first. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So what do you need an accountability to stop at 8?
What do you mean? I can't.
Like, do you have a partner that
Yeah,
can say, if I'm not done by 8, you drag me kicking and screaming away from my desk?
I have enough people. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So
I will do when I bring my daughter to bed. That's the time.
okay.
That's the
And no
first
more
time.
work, it's off.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So I'm doing this for everyone to see. With habits, we sometimes have to reverse engineer, and it's very strategic because we have to be realistic with all the busy lives that we have. All right. Let me know how it goes.
It's so simple. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
simple. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, send me a
Thank
text
you.
and tell me if in a week if you've been true to that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, Karen.
There, hey, thank you. I have a question. I have been doing my habits. One of them was that I'm stopping eating by 6 o'clock, which is quite a shift for me. And I'm really hungry in the morning, even kind of shaky. But the thing that I want to ask you about, and also yesterday I went and I got some IV therapy, and they took my blood pressure. And I don't think I want to tell you how high it was, but it was really high. And I think it has stayed that way ever since. And I realize this feeling that I have is that my blood pressure is really high. And last night I almost went to the ER because my heartbeat is very, very high. And even with the meditating, it's not bringing it down, which is very, very rare. So I was wondering if there's anything you could recommend for me. In fact, I took an herbal thing and that even kind of made it worse. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Ankit, please.
Sure. So, the first thing I always counsel with people is safety. So when someone comes to my clinic and I think that something is really off, I'm not going to talk to them first about the intelligent body, and I may not talk to them first about herbs. I may do what I think is most necessary, So I think it's one of those common sense kinds of things where you don't want to be ignoring potentially something. So I would say first thing is maybe call your doctor, have an assessment. No one's saying you won't be able to do all these things, because I know that's your inclination. But you also have to be, I say what I do is integrative medicine, which means I like to draw from the best of both sides. And having good data and good information to make safe decisions is the first step. So really, that's what I would start, and that's how I would do for myself. Matt talks about blood tests. I got my blood test last week, and I know I can work with my intelligent body, but that doesn't mean I don't do the other side of the coin.
Yeah, and I called in my intelligent body and I didn't feel like it responded. So,
well, sometimes when there's, I don't know what's going on with you, but I know that sometimes if there's a lot going on, the first thing to do is to take action. It's difficult to interiorize. It's difficult to sometimes bring yourself to that place when your system subconsciously is saying something is off. It's just difficult. And there will be a time for that, of course. But sometimes in the moment, the first thing to do is take action, get the appropriate assessment done, get a sense of what's going on, from the appropriate professional, whatever that is for you, and then layering with these things. But at the moment, remember, one of the keys we talked about working, I even said it, working with the intelligent body is specificity. Right now, I don't think you even probably have a perfect sense of what's going on. You're a little bit trying to do it yourself, it sounds like, and that's not fair to you. It's not your job to be a doctor or whatever. That's what people are there for. And I think this would be a time to get their advice, get clarity on what's going on. I think that'll obviously give you peace that you can better direct with the intelligent body, because you'll have a sense of, okay, here's where it's at. Now what action can I take? And then you can have the conversation of whatever, the spectrum of things. So don't hear me, I'm saying you have to go take a pharmaceutical, but you need to have clarity on what action to take and what actions that are options for you.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in Western doctors. I can't imagine that they would have anything but drugs. So I just feel like I'd be forced to go on drugs. So
Do you have a functional medicine doctor there? Because a lot of them are trained Western medicine and also alternative. So there are herbal protocols. I know there's a specific kind of exercise that decreases blood pressure that can be done in a few minutes a day. And so if you have the right person that's going to look at root cause and not just medicate, then they could really help you get to the source.
Yeah, if any way you could give me that exercise,
Yeah, I will.
that would be extremely helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Surrender.
I just wanted to ask a question around the intelligent body. So since I've been back, I've had an issue with my throat, and it's healed from the soreness perspective, but it's the voice. So I don't feel sick at all. It's just the voice. So I'm doing the work, and I'm going into, the cells, and I'm asking the intelligent body to work with me. And I don't know whether my expectation is that I should see some visible results. But my voice just keeps coming and going. So I'm just wondering if maybe I'm not being specific enough, or does it take time? So I just wondered, your guidance would be great.
One of the things that I remind myself is, you've heard of the relationship of energy and matter, right? Yeah. So in these instances, I think of Baba. You're familiar with Satya Sai Baba? Yeah. So you know that Baba could manifest things. I'm making a long arc, but I'm coming back, okay? So the amount of energy that he would draw to make an instant physical change, I think, I don't think I understand, but I have a sense of the immensity of that amount of energy to produce an instant change, okay? So based on the degree of energy which we tap into and the degree of time, those are sort of the two variables that I work with. If you can tap into a huge amount of energy, yes, you can create instant shift.
Okay.
If you can tap into a smaller amount of energy, then it'll still work, but it'll take more time.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does, because it comes and goes. Like this morning, I didn't have a voice, and then throughout the day, I've been working on it. So it's coming back. And then when I do my meditations, I feel a little relief. So it's just been sort of up and down, and I just wondered whether I'm not doing it right.
No, I think that's perfect. You're actually seeing the result. And this is a nice thing, because something happened, you're improving, but you're trying to, I play with this all the time. You're trying to, how quickly can I get there?
Yeah.
And remember, there was another force that created whatever occurred, right? And that force actually is rooted still in the emotional body. So sometimes, like in the JOPH program that Mao did, sometimes someone could shift that emotion, and there's many reports of instant healings when Mao, because what they did was they withdrew the force that instigated the problem. And I've done that myself, right? And there's techniques that Mary Seiss has taught. One that we could do quickly is everyone can do this, whatever the problem is right now. Let's say it's a pain or irritation of the throat or tickle or whatever that word is for you, okay? And the mind sees it as a third dimensional physical thing, but it came from deeper levels of energy. So how to make that connection? There's a real simple play you can do and say, okay, look at this, close your eyes, look at the problem that you're dealing with. And then the idea is you have to get out of the intellectual mind. So you can ask yourself, hey, what color is this? I know it doesn't make any sense. What color is this problem? What does this problem taste like? Don't think about it, just answer. What does this problem smell like? What does this problem look like? Maybe it has a look, maybe it has a sound. What does this problem sound like? And what I'm doing is I'm taking you out of that intellectual, purely third dimensional beta wave way that we all kind of live. And then you get to a place where you can say, what is the emotion behind this? What is the feeling behind this? And then once you're there, there's different techniques you can do. The simplest one is sometimes just feel it fully. What's been going on in your life that enabled this to occur? Sometimes it's actually really useful to give an awareness of yourself. Oh, you know what? I've really been worried about X. I didn't realize it was manifesting in my body in this way. And sometimes just by that awareness, you can release it. And for myself, without even doing the intelligent body work, if you take away the problem, you're done. And then the
That's
intelligent
really,
body.
yeah.
Did something
That's
come up with you in that?
Yeah, it did. And I've been looking at it very intellectually with the mind. And so I haven't done what you've just said. And now I've got something has come to mind because I've had a bit of sort of stress in the last sort of couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's come up. And that's what's come up. So but I haven't considered that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm resonating with that. So I'm actually, yeah, I'm thinking that's where I need to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you work with the intelligent body, it knows all this stuff. It's kind of fascinating. It's like, yeah, that's all contributing to the system. So the command that it works with that Ma has given, I request you deprogram X, it will work, but it knows this is where it was created and it has to deprogram all of that. So it's like we're helping it along by being aware of, this is where it came from. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change that. And the whole thing will come into alignment much more quickly.
Thank you so much, because I feel just with this explanation, I actually feel a bit of relief. Because I think that's what I needed. I just needed that.
Your voice sounds a little bit stronger, actually.
Yeah,
so.
it is. I can feel it as well. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so simple, I should say.
Thank you.
I want to add that what I've heard Ma say is the most important thing when we're speaking to the intelligent body is to speak with feeling. That if it's just an intellectual thing, it doesn't work the same. And for me, when I have something going on with my body, no matter what, I just love my body. And instead of being like, why are you like this? Change. Like be better already. It's like, what do you need? Like, is there something deeper to work with? Or do I need to go get an IV? Or do I need to look at the emotional trigger? Or do I need to, and I love you. And I love you more. So, yeah. Thank you. Great question. I'm getting a few requests for the blood pressure exercise. I'll post that in the Conscious Biohealing channel, Telegram channel. I have to find it, so I can't promise I'll post it today, but I think I have it somewhere. So, and that's another great way to source alternatives to blood pressure in that group. I'm sure there's people with some really good information, and none of this is medical advice. That's definitely something that is you need to consult your healthcare provider for. So we are not giving medical advice. All right. Any other questions or things that you're grappling with? Oh, I want to answer a question I got at the end of the program that I didn't have a chance to answer. Ma made a comment about you people meditating for 2 hours and you're not even meditating. And people are like, wait, I thought we were supposed to be meditating for 2 hours a week as the members. It was an invitation from Ma to meditate for 2 hours a week. And I want to share my interpretation of that comment, which is when we're sitting in meditation, we're not actually in focused meditation the whole time that we're sitting. And I want to reinforce the power of a meditation practice, which is just that we are, a practice is, it's like going to the gym. If we want to learn to master the mind and focus the mind and enter that place where the meditation is meditating us and we're just merged, it takes practice. And that requires sitting regularly and allowing the space for us to go into the deeper states. So we may not be in that state the whole time that we're in our practice, but we'll have moments. And in those moments, like everything can happen for us. One moment of total inner stillness, what I experience is the whole system can recalibrate. And I experience my body, when my mind is truly still, my body comes into a different kind of harmony that's not available when I'm just in the busyness of the mind. So I didn't hear in what Ma said that Ma's dissing meditation or telling us that meditating for 2 hours is not good. So, and I know for members, there will be more instruction and conversation and coaching around what we do with those 2 hours. And for those that aren't members, this is an encouragement to spend time regularly and sit in stillness, because there's so much that can happen for us and our health and our mind when we allow time for stillness. Okay, any other questions? Raise your electronic hand. Okay, we've got one in the chat. I wondered if Ma is talking about the 2 hours that we choose where Ma joins us. That wasn't what I heard. I was hearing in general, it could be those 2 hours, it could be other 2 hours. Don't think you're actually meditating the whole time. Because most of us, our mind is like this 99.9% of the time. So yes, sit for the practice and know that it's a practice. Okay, yes, Matt. You are not yet unmuted. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I didn't participate in the weekend, but I registered to get to participate through the recordings. Is there a suggestion of how to do that? Should I put 2 straight days together and go straight through the program, or any suggestions on how to do that?
Good question. Ankit, I'd like to hear from you, and then I'll share what I think.
If it was me, I would try to reconstruct it in the way it was given. Ma's energy is such, as you know, Matt, it's not like, oh, do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, right? So that's what I would do.
Well, I tend to get up early in the morning, and I've listened to Ma's first day straight through this morning, starting at like 2 in the morning. And it's like, there's no difference. I'm just like basking in this grace. It's amazing. So I'm sure there's not a wrong way, but I just wanted to hear if there's any other suggestions.
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, do what works for you. Going back to the principle of creating a lifestyle that is really optimized, we have to do what works for us. And there is something that happens when we totally step out of the busyness of our lives and set aside some days to go into a much deeper place that's not available when we're just squeezing it between the busyness. On the other side, we can get a lot of benefit from having that throughout our busy lives. So I definitely think like what you did, Ma's sections, listening to them all at once and really fully being in the immersion of Ma. And the habits piece, the beliefs piece, make sure that you can do those in a chunk. You're not interrupting the process, but that you could space out and really integrate. So
Great. Thank you.
yeah, I don't think there's a
Thank
right
you.
or wrong.
Thank you.
Gina.
Morning. I just, when you read somebody's post, I wondered if Ma was talking about the 2 hours that we choose where Ma joins us. I must have missed something. There's 2 hours that we choose where Ma joins us.
This was an invitation for the members, the Grand Design and the Sima Consciousness members, where we have a special time we do once a week where we sit for 2 hours and Ma's there very present with us energetically. So it's a very powerful part of the memberships.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, any more questions? Any more struggles with your habits or your beliefs? Anywhere you feel stuck with the work or feel like you could go further with it? Yes, Mimi.
Hi, I'm JJ Sima. Thank you. I'm feeling like I'm in a shift. I think I had to have my hip replaced in 2008, and I had asked Ma. I had an opportunity to ask Ma before that if she could heal my hip, and Ma said, "No, you have to change your belief system," and that was over 10 years ago, and I did not understand. I mean, I got it like intellectually, but this program is helping me begin. I'm just at the very beginning of baby steps to understand the going within for this purpose and working with the cells. And my struggle, my current place is this split. There's a split between beliefs and understanding. So I'd love any guidance. I mean, I guess it's just keep doing it, right? Every day, often, just keep practicing. I'm starting to feel what that's like, but it's really new because I have this super resistant intellect, been working with that for a long time. And it's catching up. I mean, I feel like it's really coming along with the spiritual, the emotional, the mental. And then we get to these core beliefs of I'm not going to ever be well, or this is our Western model of illness. Both my parents died from illnesses. My mother died from, of all things, ulcers. I swore I'd never get an ulcer, but I didn't swear I'd never get anything else, And my father died of lung cancer. He was a smoker. So that's my role model. And, big believers in the medical insurance world. And I'm somewhere in between this in my belief system, but I know where I want my belief system to go. So that's kind of I'm in this like, this discomfort of shifting, which I welcome. And at the same time, any guidance on how to move it faster.
Yeah. Well, first, right now, I know you've done profound healing. Grab those beliefs, take them and give them back to your parents. Give them back their paradigm of the medical system and health and the physical body. Yeah. And take back I don't know if it's purity or the innocence, the infinite possibilities that you came into the planet with. And you all can be doing this. If you have beliefs that you got from your parents, just give them back. Yeah. So now, Mimi, tap into the new belief. What is your new belief that you created?
That the body's intelligence is much wiser than anything my mental gyrations can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And that if I allow it, if I can that getting the mind out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
I can allow it to do what it knows to do best.
Yeah. So that belief is not fully installed in the subconscious yet. Do you fully believe it intellectually?
Almost.
Okay, most of the way. All right. So feel that new belief. Like when you think about the possibility of your body's intelligence healing itself, and the mind is just out of the way.
Oh, there's so much space.
Yeah. So let yourself really feel that. What is possible for you in that space? And are there any images that come to mind?
Oh, it just feels so vibrant and alive. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it feels really, really activated.
Yeah. And so memorize that feeling.
Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah. So now the next step is find a way to create that multiple times a day. And reverse engineer how you got to that feeling, and then recreate it for yourself with the belief. And every time you notice the old one, just be like, yeah, that's the my parents' paradigm. It's fine. It's going to be there. Whatever. Don't bother about it, but find a way to revisit that new, like, yes, my body's intelligence and the feeling of that. And the more you repeat it, the more it'll just take over.
Thank you. That's
Yes.
brilliant. Just what I needed.
Thank you, Mimi. All right. We are coming to a close.
Another idea for Mimi, because we've all been there. I've been there, with that kind of the intellectual sides of things. And one thing that helps me step out of that is the hypnotherapy program. And that's a great way to sometimes, even when we're working with beliefs of mother and father, sometimes they're so deep in the subconscious that it's not always easy to access at a conscious level. So that could be something to revisit, or maybe you haven't done it. Yeah, but that can be a powerful tool to look at from time to time.
Yeah. So we're at the top of the hour, and we have an invitation that Triveni wants to express. So let's bring him up.
Thank you, Lalita and Ankit. Such a powerful conversation of the continuation of the work and how it lives in our lives. And I wanted to make sure everyone saw the email that we put out yesterday. We sent you an email, and it talked about the activation webinar with Saima. So a few nights ago, we don't need to share the screen yet. I'll explain. I think you put that up at the end. So a few nights ago, Ma called me, and Ma said, I'm deep in the work, I'm doing the work, and I'm looking at how can I continue to serve people to maintain the energy that they received during the course of the weekend. And so we have this call today with Ankit and Lalita, and then Ma said Ma wished to do a call with all of us, a special event with all of us. So in the email yesterday, we gave the details about it. So it's going to be next Thursday. I wanted to make sure you didn't miss this. It's next Thursday at 6 p.m. New York time. No, 8 p.m. New York time. So it's 8 p.m. New York time, 6 p.m. Colorado time. So it's next Thursday on February 16th at 8 p.m. New York time. It's going to be a 90-minute webinar event called the HealthSpan by Design Activation Webinar with Sai Ma. And Ma shared with me that in the conversation I was having with Ma shared with me that the energy Ma is going to be bringing, the activation, including the activation of the Sai Ma energy session that Ma offered, is going to be very powerful and intense. And so Ma recommended not scheduling anything directly after, because you may not be able to move or want to do anything right afterwards. So for this webinar, it's like an event with Ma. So there is a charge. It's $33. If you are a Grand Design or a Sai Ma Consciousness member, that's included in your membership. So you will be getting it without needing to pay for it. In the email, the Sai Ma Consciousness members are automatically going to be added. So if you're a Sai Ma Consciousness member, you're automatically going to be getting the Zoom recordings. You're going to get, the Zoom links. You're going to get the recordings. If you're a Grand Design member, look at that email we sent you yesterday, and there's a code to zero out the registration fee. And if you're not a Grand Design or a Sai Ma Consciousness member, you can go ahead and register for the $33. That does include the recording. So we'll be recording that 90 days, 90 hours, 90 minutes with Ma. And we'll be putting it into our online platform as its own course, and we'll be getting up the recording within a few days. So if you're not available at the time, I know it's not great for the Europeans because that's going to be in the middle of the night there. So if you're not available to join live, we will be taking that recording and putting it onto the platform for you within a few days. So again, that all came into you in an email yesterday. So you should have it all there sitting in your inbox. I encourage you to go look at that and join us in this continuation of the energy work from HealthSpan by Design. And the Grand Design and the Sai Ma Consciousness member rate for that, again, is $0. It's going to be gifted to you as a member. So for the Grand Design and the Sai Ma Consciousness. For the Awakening Mastery, or if you're not a member, the cost is $33. All right, awesome. So we'll be seeing you all on Thursday, and then we'll be continuing this HealthSpan by Design tour in Brussels, May 20th, 21st. And we also have Darshan that'll be taking Brussels if you're choosing to come in person. And that Darshan is going to be taking place on Sunday, the 21st. So all of that is available for you as well. Of course, you can come in person or online, and we'll continue this work. And as I'm sure you can experience from today's webinar, this is a work that we keep coming back to again and again. When Ankit was leading that work and Lalita, I have this little bit of a head cold, and I was like, well, what's the energy? What's the color? What's the look of it, right? And doing the work. And it's so powerful because I can feel the energies starting to move. And the question is, can people who are not in HealthSpan participate Thursday evening? No. This is for those who are in San Diego or online for the HealthSpan by Design. This is something specifically Ma wants to do to continue that energy work that began on February 4th and 5th.
Even if they're listening to the replays and they've registered?
If they're part of the program, that's fine. And the Sai Ma Consciousness is all part of that. So any Sai Ma Consciousness member or people that registered and participated in the HealthSpan by Design.
So yes, for you, Matt, yes. For friends that weren't there, no.
Awesome. So if I have any other questions, you can always email us. And again, thank you so much. Lalita, did you want to say anything in closing?
Thank you all. Such a pleasure to be with you. And I'm honored to be part of a community that's so committed to really do the work. So thank you. Have a beautiful day. And I look forward to our next time together.
And thank you, Ankit and Lalita, for sharing your wisdom and your love with all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
JJ Sai Ma.
JJ Sai Ma.
Beautiful dream.